What is up everyone, do not even try here, and today we have a new build video, this time on this little 70-second scale Me262 A-1a. Overall the build was decent, it's quite an old kit. I haven't done much research, I just purchased the model because it was cheap, and a 262 is quite a nice model. And overall really decent kit apart from the canopy, which is atrocious, but like really atrocious. But if you want a 262 kit that is quite easy to construct and everything, I will strongly recommend this kit. So yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy the build. I first start by building the inside of the cockpit. After cutting out and cleaning the two fuselage halves, I paint the inside of the cockpit with a pale gray color. While the fuselage halves are drying, I start the assembly of the actual cockpit. Overall, the cockpit went together without any major issues. I am now giving a second coat of light gray paint, and I will eventually just airbrush the entire cockpit with it. I'll now paint all the small details with a dark gray paint. Keep in mind that since the cockpit has a really low visibility inside, I wasn't too careful by really nicely painting everything because you can barely see it at the end. I am now assembling the two fuselage halves. Before gluing the front wheel well, I put some magnets inside of the fuselage to create some weight on the nose, since it is a tricycle style landing gear. Unfortunately, I didn't put enough weight, and that resulted as the aircraft tail sitting. Here I am assembling the wings. I put some masking tape on the wings to keep the wings shut together while the glue dries. Once the wings are assembled, I firmly press them into the fuselage and glue them. Here I am starting the assembly of the engines. After removing the masking tape and fully assembling the engines, I glued the engines to the wings. The fit was quite tight, however, this greatly helped me getting the engines in place and glue them properly. Here I am giving the aircraft its shadow coat. The shadow coat will help all the details really pop out once the main paint job is here. And here's the light coat, which will create some color variation inside of the paint job. This whole process is also known as pre-shading. After realizing that my first coat of paint for the underside of the aircraft was the wrong color, I simply paint the right color over it. For the underside of the aircraft, I use a mix of light blue and white color to create a sort of sky-like color. I'm being careful going panels by panels to really let the appreciating pop out. Once this is done, I mask and paint the two rectangular aluminum areas. I am now painting the main color of the top fuselage, which is a Tamiya dark green. Again, I'm being really careful going panels by panels to really let the pre-shading pop out and have a less uniform green color, which will otherwise be quite boring. Now, with the same dark gray color I used for the cockpit, I paint the camouflage part. Parts of the undercarriage, I start assembling them. After fully assembling the landing gears, I start putting on the decals. The process is fairly simple. I dip the decals for about 12 seconds in some warm water. I put some micro set decal solution on the model, place the decal on, and then with a cotton bud I completely remove all the humidity in it. And once it's fully dry, I put some micro set decal solution on the decals on multiple coats so the decals really conform to the model. Keep in mind that the decal solutions are pretty aggressive against the paint, so putting a varnish over it is a nice idea. I then mix some exhaust and gun stains with some black dry pastel, and with that the model was complete. Here it is, the small Revell 72nd scale Me262. So as you saw, I decided not to go much into weathering, mainly because I like my aircrafts to be quite clean, and it's I like them like that, and also since the Me262 really had weak engines that only lasted about 24 hours and couldn't really be replaced afterwards. Um, I assume the aircrafts were not really the paint was not really chipped and everything. So overall, it gives the aircrafts were like almost new when they were captured by the Allies. So this is why I really did not go much into weathering. And after that, overall the kit was really decent. Not much to say. The Airfix one is probably much better because it's much newer. But really, Nothing much to say. It's a cheap kit. You get what you usually get with a cheap 72nd scale Revell. But that was really relaxing. Really enjoyed it. Built it right after the M10. And that's a really nice break from big, expensive and hard kits to build. But yeah, overall, this was really, really enjoyable. And so yeah, if you want to see more, just subscribe or like the video, because next time this is what we are going to build. My first ever helicopter, the Revell 35th scale UE. I believe it's an ex-Academy kit that was rebuilt by Revell. From looking inside, it looks amazing. So if you want to see this video and don't miss up on any future one, I gladly invite you to subscribe to the channel and like, comment and everything on this video. Anyway, see ya!